it's probably because God hasn't given me permission to speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's more, I deal more with what people perceive about me and resonating with, I don't have to be likable to everybody or be approved by everyone. And it's something that you constantly have to crucify, because as people, as humans, we want to please people. We want to make people like us. And so I think the likability aspect of it has had to be crucified for me.
Yeah.
Was that easier to do? Or
No.
like, what was that like? Yeah.
I mean, crucifixion ain't easy.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's easy. But like anything, the way it resonated, like the Christian walk was never supposed to be easy. And that's why I struggle with people that like say, oh, I want to be like a Christian influencer. I'm like, really? Like, I want to be a preacher. Really?
Yeah.
Because we're like doubly accountable.
Right.
And I think that people have lost sight that a platform is just as powerful as a pulpit. And you're going to be accountable for every single thing you push out on that platform. And so I think I struggle with the weight of knowing that this is a calling, just like pastoring is a calling. Just as creative, being a creative in the church is a calling. Like all of it takes stewardship. And so how you steward that is what you will be accountable for. So I wouldn't even say that I struggle more with like, well, people perceive me. I struggle with how God perceives me. And one thing I always told myself was, I'm never going to make an apology video for not being active on social media. If God isn't speaking and God's not releasing me, then I won't, because this is his to begin with. So
yeah, it makes it easier when you know that it's not yours, it's his, and you just get the honor to steward it, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that was a major shift for me doing this, our company, all this success we see. When people, say you've done a great job, I say I'm just a really good steward.
Yes.
Like
it's all about stewardship.
Yeah. Like I'm just like he gave me one talent and I turned it into two. Like he gave me five. Every step of the way, I was just really good with the things that he gave me.
Yeah.
But I think where I get stuck personally and where I get the most anxiety, doubt, fear of man is when I stop fearing what the Lord says or what he wants me to do or how he wants to run this business. Because ultimately I say to the team, I say this probably every episode, to be honest, and I'm probably going to keep saying it. This is the Lord's business. We just get the opportunity to steward it. You know? And I think when it flips and you go, oh, well, this is my thing, or there's that little bit of pride that comes in. Like you could be like, oh, well, look at this social, media following I've built, or look at these things I've done. I think that's where the pressure comes in. But when you keep it to, no, this is the Lord's and I get to steward it. I think stewardship potentially, I don't know, in the context I've been in, is probably undervalued or / underspoken about. Like we don't really talk about stewardship. We talk about like other things a lot, but in our context, stewardship hasn't been taught on too much.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I grasped the fact that, no, this is the Lord's, I just get to steward.
And it's such like it's out of season, like no matter what season you're in, you've got something to steward, whether you're like your first job and you're working at like Target, you know what I mean, behind the counter. It's like you can steward that so well.
Yeah.
And you can watch the blessing come, and it's like it's all preparing you for the next thing.
And I could guarantee that with those 7 kids, you stewarded them so well, and like you were just so grateful, and you preached the gospel with vigor and enthusiasm and as best as you could. And he goes, I can trust her now. It doesn't mean that you're perfect or you're super ready. Oftentimes you're like the least qualified.
When I'm ready. Yes.
But I love that. Just I think stewardship, we don't really talk about it. Have you ever preached a message on stewardship?
It's funny. I was scripting like a message I'm going to do this year, and stewardship was like on my board of like something I want to teach on, because a person can see a moment, like they can walk into your life now and be like, you guys are so successful in what you do, but you haven't seen the years of yeses and nos that have had to happen. Of like Big when time. You have like little to nothing to go on, but you're still believing what God had said. And so I think, I think you gave me language for what I've seen like in these last few years. It's really been stewardship. Because like I tell people, like they'll tell me like, hey, Amy, I want to be a preacher. I'm like, okay, great. Like maybe you should teach with kids. And it's not because I'm knocking you or like trying to make you feel lower. No. It's because like I, to this day, still remember the faces of the kids that I speak to or that I would speak to. And I've even received messages from them now. And I'm like, awesome. Man, God was doing a work in me before I ever even knew it. He was teaching me how to preach the gospel so simply, and I didn't even know it. And sometimes, in everything, the best work that you do will be done in secret and will be done in private.
100%.
Yep.
And what's done in secret and private will eventually come out. And usually we use that as like a scare tactic, like, oh, don't do it in secret. No,
don't
do
it's true on that end too. It's like, I mean, what you do in darkness always comes to light.
And I think that's also like the success part of it. Like the hours that you put in to study, the hours you put into honing your craft, the hours you say no to going out and yes to staying in to perfect what you know that God has given you. Like that is what will propel you forward.
100%. I think the two scriptures that have instilled the fear of the Lord in me the most is "You wicked lazy servant" in the where Jesus talks about the talents, the parable of the talents, and then he returns to him. He says, "I buried it," and he goes, "Well, you're a wicked, lazy servant." And the other one is where Jesus said, "You do all these things. You do all these things. You cast out demons. You heal the sick, but you didn't I didn't know you. You didn't know me."
Wow, hey.
And I'm
Scariest
like, okay, so
yeah.
He's like, wait, what?
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, Lord. Well, I did all these things. I served here. I would, did that, blah blah blah. But did I stop and just like be with the Lord? And I think I don't know how I got there. I think, you were talking about, you don't really care what people comment. You don't really care what they do. Because I think what I'm hearing is that you fear the Lord.
Yeah.
And there's actually healthy fear. There's good fear. Like Jesus ain't my homeboy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
like he might be like kind and loving and there's some traits, but he's the Lord of the heavens and earth.
And there's like a reverence to that.
Yeah, it's
100%.
like the classic, like when you just call him Daddy God. It kind of like makes it a bit too like but he's also a father who corrects, protects, guides, leads.
And I think that's what keeps. I mean, I wouldn't be able to sustain the life that we have now and the blessings and all the things that the Lord has given us if I hadn't gone through 15 years in the darkness. I used to always want to be that guy on the platform or, doing those podcasts or writing those songs or being that guy. I never got the opportunity ever. And I was always like, why is that? Now I realize that it wasn't until I didn't want it, you know what I mean? Or it wasn't until I only wanted him that he's like, oh, I can work with that now.
Yeah. It's like he'll get you down to nothing and you'll realize that nothing was actually everything.
Yeah.
Because I tell people like.
Preach.
Yeah, that's good.
Like those 4 years where it was me and God and I was facing maybe the most opposition, the most confusion is when I saw the things the clearest. Because he was able to cancel out the noise so I could just hear his voice. And so now my whole life becomes a pursuit of where is your voice and where do you want me? And if your voice isn't here, then I don't want to be there. The moment that God's voice stops being in social media, I'm out. And the moment that he tells me, Amy, you're done with this season here, I'm out. Because I can only exist in the parameters that God has given me. Like, when it comes to social media, I think people ask like, oh, like, well, what's the algorithm like? Or what's that like? I'm like, honestly, we can sit and we talk a lot about it. We can watch a bunch of YouTube videos. But all I know, like, that God just met me in a space and favor could do more for you in 10 seconds than 10 years of hard work will ever get you. And so like, I really do believe that there's like an anointing, a favor that God will be able to rest upon somebody and he will multiply it from there.
You know what I love? It's like, that's such an annoying answer, by the way, because it's so true. Like it is the truth, especially like in a Christian context. But I love that. It's like, how do you get favor? It's through the stewardship. You know what I mean? It's through the dedication to God. Which is so like full circle, which is awesome.
How do we, Amy, how do we get the anointing?
The way I think this question.
How do we?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm going to leave it open. We're going to follow up.
That's a really good question. I think the only way that I've been able to really resonate that is that you have to welcome the crushing. And we're such a generation of self-preservation of like, let me survive as much as I can. And you can hear a bunch of God's words being poured at you and it can go over your head because we're not willing, one, to die to self and two, to actually face the crushing.